Good afternoon, everybody. Wanted to provide a brief update. As you know, this afternoon at around 2 o'clock, there was an officer-involved shooting at the corner of Barber Street and Westland. There's still a lot to learn about this incident, and as you know, this investigation will be an independent investigation. It's been assumed by the State Inspector General. I can only share with you what I know, and what I know is based on what I have seen of video of the incident. Hartford police officers, using lights and sirens, stopped a vehicle. This vehicle had previously been called in to 911 as a call indicating that individuals in the vehicle were armed and threatening others. As the officer exits the vehicle, let me say back up, as the police cruiser pulls the vehicle over, and before the officer exits the vehicle, an individual gets out of the passenger side of the vehicle and begins walking toward the back of the vehicle. And then as the officer approaches the vehicle, you can see in the video this individual raise his arm with a handgun in it and appears to fire at the officer. There's an exchange of gunfire. The individual was taken to the hospital and was later pronounced deceased. The officer was not injured. Again, I want to stress that there is lots more to learn about the incident, and we will share everything that we can as we can. That said, I want to stress again that this will be an independent investigation that has been assumed by the Inspector General, and they will be, at this point, responsible for the release of additional information as the investigation moves forward. As you know, there's a state statute that calls for body-worn camera footage to be released within a certain amount of time from the incident. So I hope that we all will be able to see that full video footage as soon as possible. We believe that it is important to be as transparent as possible and show every bit of footage that we can find from all cameras at the scene as soon as possible. And I would urge and hope that the Inspector General releases as much of that footage as soon as possible. But again, they have assumed the investigation, and it's their independent authority to do that. But I did think it was important for us to provide what we knew at this point to the community, and happy to take any questions.
Mayor, can you confirm, so there was suspicious activity in a car on Barber Street, and that's why police were called there?
So at this point, I can't answer that. What I can tell you is I know that the car that was pulled over had been the subject of an earlier call, 911 call, and that officers, well, that's what I know at this point.
There were several people.
Yeah. Well, there was a driver and there was a passenger. Whether there were more people, I don't think we know at this point. What you can see in the video that I have seen is that the driver of the vehicle pulls away as the individual who got out of the passenger side is exchanging gunfire with our police officer. I want to stress, this is a difficult and painful thing for our community. And that's why we want to share what we can when we can. I also want to say that I am deeply grateful that our police officer is uninjured. He could very easily have been killed today.
How old? We had people in the neighborhood said this is a young teenager. Is that true?
We don't have that information yet.
Did the suspect exchange any words? Did they say anything when they got out of the car?
I don't have that information yet. I think we'll have to wait until body-worn camera footage is available to see that.
Can I clarify the threatening statements that were made earlier? Do you know, were they made to passersby, just innocent people in other cars?
See if-
What were those statements?
Okay. So we got a call from a car dealership that someone may have been brandishing a firearm. That's all the information we have, other than the description of that car was similar, and the plate, to the car that was stopped, where the individual jumped out of the car and exchanged firearm shots with our officers. So
Are you able to clarify, was this an attempted robbery or something like that?
I don't have that information.
So that
Sure.
happened just minutes before the incident on Barber Street. It happened within an hour?
I don't have the exact time. It happened relatively close in time.
Someone from the dealership called you and called police, said there was a concern someone was brandishing a firearm. You had a description of a vehicle that matched the vehicle there, and that vehicle was spotted on the phone.
Yes.
Can you say if this individual was a man or a woman that was shot and is now deceased?
It was a man.
Was the driver arrested?
We don't have the driver. The driver took off.
They took off, and you're looking for that. That's the next step, right?
Correct.
Are you able to provide a description of that car
I am
and
not.
the suspect?
Oh, the car? It's a Honda, a silver Honda with Florida plates. Do we have the plates?
Florida. We have the vehicle.
You have the vehicle, but not the driver. Oh, okay. So the guy obviously, the driver took off. Was that vehicle found in Hartford?
Thank you.
Any other questions?
What happens now with the officers?
Uh,
It's an officer-involved shooting.
Yeah. Again, because this is an officer-involved shooting, because this is a fatal officer-involved shooting, the State Inspector General has assumed the investigation. Will independently conduct that investigation. We will obviously provide the Inspector General with any and all information that we can, that we have. And we hope that we'll be able to provide as much information as possible beyond what we've already shared to the community as quickly as possible. I think you know that our strong belief is that community deserves to see as much information as possible, as quickly as possible. And again, that's why we're sharing what we know today. And I shared prior to this press conference, I shared on social media a picture that depicts the initial exchange of gunfire.
Can you tell me what dealership that came in at?
Okay.
And just to clarify again, nobody else in the area was hurt. I know this happened.
Not to our knowledge.
Church.
Not to our knowledge.
Getting out. It's been very dangerous.
You mentioned that you believe that the individual that is deceased fired at police. Is that confirmed, or you just believe that he did fire first?
So I am sharing what I have seen on the video. It appears to me, watching that video, that it's very apparent that there's an exchange of gunfire. And I think it is unambiguously clear that the individual who got out of the passenger side and exchanged gunfire with police raised his arm with a weapon in it before the officer did. Again, I'm sharing with you what I saw and what looks apparent to me, and I think it's important for me to share that, but we hope that everyone will have the opportunity to see all footage as well as subsequent footage of the incident. I've only seen a small amount of video at this point. And again, at this point, the Inspector General will assume the investigation, and they'll be responsible for either releasing additional information or letting us know when and how we can. Okay? Thank you, everybody.
How long will the street be closed?
Several hours. Okay. Thanks, everybody.